Yeah,
I don't have mine anymore.
Yeah, I don't have to fold men's underwear anymore. Yeah. I'll never forget one of my last laundry binges at my house years and years ago. I was folding my ex-husband's underwear and I was just thinking, oh, I'm not going to have to do this again. And, not that that's torture or anything like that. But yeah, I mean, there's humor to that, right? Like I'm free to I can just worry about my own underwear now. Kind of like my own bank account. It's nice, Anthony.
It's nice. Keep me on. Welcome, everybody, back to another exciting show of the About That Wallet podcast, where we help you build strong financial habits by having everyday people just like you and I who are still dealing with our finances and expenses. But I have the awesome opportunity to talk about something that's really exciting, which is being divorced, but also happy. And I have the awesome guest that comes on, and you gotta check out her Instagram whenever you get a chance. And her name is Sadie. How you doing today, Sadie?
I'm good. I'm smiling at you. I'm excited for this interview.
Yeah, because I always love you and Mikey with the.
Yeah, for the listener who's just meeting me for the first time today, Mike is my mascot. He is my microphone. He is the best listener I've ever known. And he does a lot of playful things. We do a lot of playful things together. He's a great companion. And Anthony gets a kick out of Mike. I have never called him Mikey, though. I have not done that yet. Maybe you'll inspire that after today's chat.
What's the deal with Mike?
What's the deal with Mike? Again, yes. As I said in my intro, Mike is my microphone. And, I'm kind of creative and out of the box. So throughout the years, I've added some layers to Mike. So he has some outfits. He dresses up. He's my mascot. We do a lot of fun promotions together. He has his own personality. He's a very cool guy. He's very chill, very quiet. I do all the talking. He does all the listening. Works out.
So, but Mike has been on some adventures, and I'm sure he's seen some things and heard some things.
Oh, right. With all these divorced ladies.
I know, right?
He doesn't kiss and tell, though, Anthony. His book might come out later. I don't know. Stay tuned. Merchandise is coming out with Mike, though. You might be able to buy a Mike keychain or a Mike t-shirt. He's going to have his own line of merch. So something to look forward to.
I definitely will have to get me a shirt from Mike, because I'm like, oh, Mike got glasses. I might want to dress up my Mike or something.
I know. Got to call him something else, though.
Yeah, it's more than likely it'll probably be a lady, I guess.
Ooh la la. Then they could maybe meet up. Maybe there's like a Mike conference they could attend. That would be hilarious.
It'll be our own conference.
That'd be a funny sketch for Instagram or something. Right. These microphones. That'd be funny, right? I can see it.
Oh man, because that's one thing I was thinking about, the future of podcasting. Like, where is it going? And I wonder if we can create a in-person experience, but also virtually.
With AI, you never know.
I know. We need to find somebody. Crazy. Yeah. No.
Well, you could name yours Debbie Decimal.
Debbie. Oh, I like that one.
Right?
Oh, yeah. I see the geeky side of it. Okay. Right. So does Mike go on vacations by himself, or you just kind of chill out? What does
we're always together. Otherwise, he's just hanging out in his Mike cave. Well, I need him to help me out.
What does Mike like to?
Not like the man cave, the Mike cave. What?
Mike cave. I say, what does Mike like to watch?
Anything around happy life after divorce, I guess. Gosh, I have to get to know Mike a little bit better. I'll have to ask him these questions. Like I said, he doesn't talk, so.
Oh no.
I know.
Yeah, you gotta watch his behaviors.
Yes, yeah, he's more nonverbal.
So what's his habit? His favorite habit?
What's his favorite habit?
Yeah,
he's just always very put together. He's very organized. I have lots of clutter, so we balance each other out that way.
That's nice.
Yeah, he's always well groomed.
He keeps it clean. Keeps it nice for the ladies.
Yep.
Awesome. And I'm sure you put different toppers on them and everything.
Yes. Freshen them up from time to time.
I don't have anything else to like. It's too funny. Thank you so much for the overview of Mike.
You're welcome.
The be real. This would be the be real.
The be real, baby.
Right. Yeah, it'll be funny because I like that you having fun with it and fun with a topic that everybody seems to be so taboo about. But yet there's
Right.
so many divorces that happen around the world.
50% of marriages tend to end that way. And so I say, welcome to the divorce club. Welcome. Come join us on Sadie's Divorced and Happy at Instagram. We have lots of fun. Anthony pops by sometimes and he's happily married. So even if you're married, check us out. We have fun there. A lot of great conversation, a lot of hot topics.
Oh my gosh. Like when it comes to a hot topic, when you're talking about I think you did like a side by side with one of the guys for the Christmas one, and he was like making like cereal,
Oh, I
missing the
love
whole
him.
bowl.
Yeah, he's from Australia and he has a mascot too. It's his pug,
Oh,
Fraser.
really?
Yeah, we both have mascots. See, we have so much in common. He has dark hair, I have dark hair. He has a mascot, I have a mascot. So, we should meet. He should be on my podcast.
Yeah,
He's
you should.
adorable. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, can't wait to hear that one.
Help me with that, will you, Anthony?
Yes,
Vince
yes.
him.
So when it comes to like going through the divorce process is obviously can be very daunting, but you can find the happiness in it. And so can you just kind of talk about like what it is? What were your emotions going through that process?
Going through an actual divorce or life
Yeah.
after divorce? Two
Uh
very different worlds, in my
going
opinion.
well, going through it first. Let's start there. And obviously you're happy now, but
Right. Well, going through the legal procedure of a divorce is very stressful because it's something clearly you don't do every day. And so you're at the mercy of the legal system. And hopefully you have an attorney who's gonna do good by you and help you along. And I would say my experience with that was not maybe the best. So I was not my best self during my divorce. Fortunately for me, it went very quickly. And so once it was behind me, I could then kind of have my clean slate and my fresh start and my new beginning and all those fun things and focus on the next chapter, which for me was really exciting and invigorating and rediscovering myself and tapping back into my creativity, which is what I bring when it comes to, Instagram and all of that. I love that because I can be an artist and I can express myself creatively. So my divorce led to many beautiful, wonderful opportunities and meeting such great people. I mean, I would never be on this podcast had I not been divorced. You wouldn't have found me, right? So it just has led me to a lot of great conversations and meeting some incredible people all around the world. Well, a lot of people actually. I have 60,000 followers on Instagram. So, and we're very engaging with me. We share a lot of, direct messages. And I feel so grateful that because I went through an experience and could talk about it openly and candidly and add some humor and lightness to it, that it's brought a lot of people that same experience. And so it's been a gift, really. I've turned it into a gift, I guess. I could have gone the other way and, made it like I was a victim forever, but who wants to live like that? Not me.
yeah, and the world is so vast with so many different opportunities and experiences out there that, when you have somebody to deal with, you don't get a chance to really explore yourself sometimes. And it also depends on how early you get married too.
Right. And I did get married till I was 34.
Oh,
So
wow.
I had all of my 20s to do my thing and create a business and I was involved in other endeavors. So that was a benefit to getting married later, but I still got divorced even though I got married later. So yeah, I think for me I am pretty independent, which is why marriage really just wasn't a fit for me. But for some people it's a great fit and that's wonderful.
So what caused the divorce though? Like what was it, like money? Because I hear about money is like the number one.
Oh, it was definitely financially related, but I think also I just felt very isolated. I didn't feel like I had the emotional connection that I wanted to have with my ex-husband. And, it's not saying bad things about him. It's just we had different needs.
Mhm.
And we actually connected a great deal and positively about business. That was our main connector, that and our children, of course. But I think I was ready to not feel so alone in a relationship. And one thing I've learned through divorce is to really reconnect with myself and focus on really getting to know me and quote mastering me. Not that it's not about perfection or anything like that, but just really understanding myself. And divorce has given me a great opportunity to learn things about myself that I didn't know I could do, and here I am doing them. So it's been exciting.
So what's one thing that like the immediate, because one of the posts that you did I thought was hilarious was that you was like, one thing, like you didn't say anything, it was just like the words coming across, and it was like, one thing about being divorced is that I don't have to wash underwear.
Yeah,
So I don't have mine anymore,
yeah, I
right?
don't have to fold men's underwear anymore.
Yeah.
I'll never forget one of my last laundry binges at my house years and years ago. I was folding my ex-husband's underwear and I was just thinking, oh, I'm not going to have to do this again. And, not that that's torture or anything like that. But yeah, I mean, there's humor to that, right? Like I'm free to I can just worry about my own underwear now. Kind of like my own bank account. It's nice, Anthony.
It's like, I keep, I know.
I can clean the toilets, just my mess. Like the bathroom, I can keep, it's nice. Like I can keep the bathroom messy, except when my kids are with me. I have to be obviously a little more mindful and thoughtful about their needs. But it's like when I have my weekends to myself, whatever, like, I don't have to worry about that stuff. It's so nice. You're laughing because it's true. Right?
I know.
Come on.
I remember those days. Being single, doing what you need to
Anthony
do.
the Bachelor. What was he like?
Oh my gosh. Yeah,
Juicy.
No. I was out in the streets.
Okay. That's another podcast.
Yes.
Okay.
More financial. Because we talk about the habits and everything like that from psychological piece. So what resources were helpful for you? When you're going through that transition, obviously you're going from letting go of this burden to now, like, finding yourself. Because I notice even when it comes to finances, it's like it's a big experience right there. So how do you, like, what resources that you felt that was helpful for you?
Well, I felt really empowered by it because, well, just for the listeners, so I'm a business owner. I've owned a photography business for over 20 years. And so the stress that I had is I work 100% commission. So I had to support myself and my children with my business, which I knew I could do it, but it added, layers of anxiety because you can't predict your income. You can look at years past and kind of gauge like, okay, I should make around this much, but you never know. So one thing that I did after divorce is I took the money that I had, and I didn't have much because financially in my marriage, there were different decisions made that weren't for the better. And so I took what money I was able to get from the marriage, and I immediately hired a financial planner. I'd never had one in my life. I was 46 years old when I got divorced. I'd never had a financial planner. So that felt very empowering, and he's wonderful. So I recommend that if you're newly divorced, you don't have to pay that individual to assist you. He or she will garner income just from what your savings earns and interest. But so I highly recommend that. I also just talk to people who are good with money. People in my life who I saw succeeding with their businesses, with finances, and got some solid tips and advice. I was very mindful of every penny I spent. Probably the first 2 years of my divorce, I saved every receipt. I categorized every receipt. I constantly had a kind of like a chart in front of me every week, like this is what I've spent, this is what I'm making, so that I always stayed in budget. I don't have any significant debt. When I buy something on a credit card, to pay it off right away. That's something I learned from my parents a million years ago. So, and that felt great because in my marriage, I had someone else who was using credit cards, right? and I had no control over that. So it was actually really empowering to just be able to manage my money again by myself. And, soon in my business, I started adding additional streams. So, not just headshots or events, but I added materials that people could use for marketing, or I started working in more of the legal world and creating images for personal injury lawyers, firms. So just, being mindful of like, okay, how can I, with the skills that I have, make more money? Mm-hmm. How can I, with the money that's coming in, be more mindful? I mean, my kids and I had some fantastic vendors at the Salvation Army. We'd go there and I'd be like, okay, we have $50. Let's see what we can get. We need shoes. We need this. We need that. You can find amazing things at thrift stores. And if you believe in recycling, reducing, reusing, recycling, you'd be a fan of doing that. So, I'm Midwestern, Anthony. We are frugal people. We are frugal people over here. So I take no shame. Like, yeah, I got this for $1. and I'm going to brag about it. That's how we're obnoxious in the Midwest. We like to tell you how little we spend on something. You know, other cultures are like, yeah, I spent $50,000 on these shoes. I'm like, yeah, I spent $5.
Right.
So, you know, things like that, just, and just being excited about saving money and creating an emergency fund. You know, I now have a emergency fund for 1 year, meaning I won't have to not work for a year. And I would have to be mindful. I wouldn't be living, you know, large or anything, going out to eat all the time or anything like that. But yeah, I like every week I look at my bank account and I'm like, yep, I'm still there. Like I have to be at a certain number and I feel good. And if I'm not at that number, I have to fix that problem. That's my problem to solve. So after 5 years of being divorced, I'm like, I got this. You know, I made, you know, last year in my sales, I made 6 figures, and for 100% commission with all the overhead that I have, I felt proud of myself.
That is so awesome. I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
Because it's like, you know, you didn't let what you were going through to actually define who you are, and that you went back to, you know, figure out who you are. And actually, when you said about the photography piece, I was like, am I going to see you on Investigation Discovery taking those photos? Like those reenactments are hilarious.
Maybe.
I was like,
I'm going to file that away. Maybe that's another stream of income. You just gave me a good idea.
Yeah, let's go through it. Because I would love to see like people that I know, like, hey, I saw you on a reenactment.
Oh, that would be hilarious. Yeah. You never know.
Yeah. Because, you know, going through your journey, and I know you're having all this fun times and stuff like that, but also you meet quite a different types of people that's going through the same thing. And like you said, you had the conversations between the men and women who are going through divorce. Like, who actually has the most fun?
Lots of conversations. So many fun conversations.
So who has the most fun?
Well, you know, okay. So I engage mostly with women because the numbers are like, I don't know, 85-15. So 85% of my followers are female and 15 are men. But the men that are there, they have things to say. They like being there. They have fun with us. Here's how I'd answer that question, because I thought about that. You had sent me that question prior to this interview. And I think whoever can let go of their anger, whoever can let go of being the victim, whoever can look at the future and the possibility and the excitement and feel curious, that person, whether you're identifying as a woman or a man, that person's going to be having the most fun, you know, enjoying the journey, that type of thing. But if you're going to stay stuck in this victim mentality, it's not going to lead to the happy life that you're wanting. So I recommend that, you know, if you need to work with a professional, my first career, I was a mental health counselor. So if you need to work with a professional to help you with that anger, with that grief, I highly recommend that, because that is not a place that you want to stay. And if you're a parent, you definitely don't want to stay there on behalf of your children and their well-being. They need to see you moving beyond the divorce and thriving and having things to look forward to, creating new traditions, all of that.
Wow. Yeah, because I'm actually because I was all about to ask you as well, which is about the psychological piece about it, like what resource. And it's good that you already had that background, so you can.
But I had a therapist.
You had a therapist? Okay.
Of course. I mean, just because, I had a therapist that I worked with off and on for probably 3 years, and who I still can connect with if I need that support.
Yeah. Was there like anything that
I think a therapist should be like a dentist, or, I mean, we have an annual exam with our medical doctor. You know, we go to see a chiropractor when you have a kink in your neck. Like, I think therapy to me should just be like something very much more common.
But most health insurance don't pay for those, do they?
Well, it depends. I mean, I benefited from COVID in the state of Minnesota. I had a great mental health insurance for about 3 years, and I took advantage of it, Anthony.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, and being resourceful. Took advantage of that good health care that I had through the COVID. Yeah. It can be financially challenging to be seeing maybe a therapist every week, but maybe once a month, maybe twice a month, you could do that for yourself. I mean, we go to the dentist every 6 months and we have to pay that usually out of pocket. So I see it as a high value. especially if you're really struggling. If anything, you could also, people who are maybe not able to afford therapy, they could look and see if there's some type of support group in their community. Or just right now, also, one thing I'm doing with my Divorced and Happy community is we do live events and just look for different event groups that you could go to, at least for community, not necessarily for maybe mental health purposes, but just to connect with other people. You don't want to be so isolated after you go through a divorce. You want to connect with other people around things that you like to do.
There's so many songs about breakups that, like, in order to get over somebody, I get under someone. So it's like not the same concept.
No, not the same concept. I mean, sure, you could try that path. I mean, who hasn't tried that? But I mean, that's a short-term solution. Yes. That's not going to allow you big picture to have the happy life that you're wanting. I mean, I dated like I was 16 years. I mean, I was like all in on the dating, and I dated a lot of people, and 5 years out, like, what do I have to show for that? Well, I have a lot of things I learned about myself, things that I like, things that I don't like. So that's a positive. Yeah. What I recommend it, what I not recommend it. I mean, it's everybody's own journey. Some people don't want to date after divorce. Some people want to. It's really up to you. But just recognize that dating someone else isn't going to take away if you're really struggling with anger or depression or anxiety. It's not going to, you're probably not going to, because if you're in that type of mind frame, you're probably not going to choose someone who's in a real healthy place. So I think now it's, 5 years out, it's like I'm in a good, solid, healthy place and I'm ready for a real healthy, happy relationship.
So what would you say to, since it's majority women who are out there that actually be listening to this episode, that who recently went through a divorce and just kind of look into, what they should be out dating? Like, how long should they wait before they even start to think about dating?
I think that's such a personal decision. I think it's like, what do you want to get out of it? I mean, I've interviewed a lot of dating coaches on my podcast, Sadie's Divorced and Happy. And what they always respond when that question's asked is, what do you want to get out of it? Like, are you just wanting some sexual, like, fun?
Least,
great.
Right.
Be direct, like, be clear about that. If you're wanting just casual, like, let's go out once in a while, let's talk once in a while. Great. Be clear about that. If you're wanting something more serious, which I don't think anyone after a divorce should jump into a serious relationship. That's my humble opinion. And I think a dating coach would agree. Then, just be direct, be communicative. I'm great with anybody who's very direct and communicative, but if you're, more passive with me, you're probably not going to last long in my life. So, and now at this stage in the game, like I know what I'm looking for and I can be very direct about it. And usually people will agree, oh yeah, that sounds good. And we'll journey for a while and they'll stick around for a while or they won't. And that's fine. At this stage in the game, I'm good.
Yeah. So let's talk about some of the good things. So what have you, what are you really looking forward to now? Like, I know you say you're like 5 years out, but it's like, what is something that you say that you're really looking forward to? I know you say like a happy relationship, but like with yourself now, because I mean, you found yourself, but what's the next level for you?
Well, I'm an entrepreneur, and so I'm always thinking about more streams of income. I'm always thinking about how can I challenge myself. So with my business now, with my photography, I'm adding the arm of videography on. I'm working with more of a team. Also with my podcast, Sadie's Divorced and Happy, I'm working on a product, a dating flavor profile app. I'm also working on some merch, buy some spicy underwear for your wife. I'll be selling it.
Okay. I got spicy underwear for dollars on it.
Nice. So, I always like to think bigger. I've been doing a Divorced and Happy meetup events for the last year. And now I'm thinking, okay, I've done these in Chicago, Denver, and my hometown, Minneapolis. Where else can I do these? I want to do I pitched an idea with all of my followers on Instagram about doing an annual ski trip. I had over 300 people interested. Good. So just always adding, what's next?
Yeah.
When you're imaginative, it's kind of limitless as long as you have the resources and the time. And one thing also, just for your listener, one thing that I learned a long time ago is surround yourself with people who do things better than you do them. Surround yourself with people in your industry who are further along. I've always had a mentor. Anthony, do you have a mentor?
I have several, depending on the topic.
Right.
Yeah.
And don't they add like much value in your life, professionally and personally?
Oh, multiple times over.
Right. Yeah. Right. I've had a photography mentor since I began. And I've been 20 years in. So I've always had a mentor. I just talked to one of my mentors last week on the phone because I just wanted to confirm a certain type of technique with him. And I knew what to do, but I just wanted to be like, okay, this is right, correct? He's like, yes, great. Right. But it's just wonderful to have that resource. And he's just one of my dear friends now after how many years of working together and collaborating. So find mentors, find financial mentors, find, the resources of support groups. I'm sure depending on your industry, there are so many different organizations that you can belong to. And if you're not in a financial place to maybe pay the membership, maybe you can see if there's scholarships. I photograph so many conferences with my line of work and they're so fascinating. I get to learn all this information. I get paid to do it, but conferences can be very expensive, but see if there's maybe some type of scholarship or something like that allow you to advance in your profession, at least be inspired and meet like-minded people.
Yeah. And I will say that one of the things that a lot of people skip over is the volunteering piece, because a lot of these conferences, they can't run them by themselves. So even if you're just there holding a sign up, hey, enter over here, like, who cares? Like
that is such a brilliant add-on, because again, at conferences, for example, there are so many volunteers that help the experience, and also they get to then go for free or a sliding fee scale or something like that. So that's a brilliant add-on. Yes, absolutely.
Plus the free food.
Oh, and I know. Corporate conferences, I eat like a queen. I just love it. I'm like, what's on the menu today?
Right. Because I spoke at my first conference at FinCon, and that was the thing. They fed us. I was like, I like this. So that's why I applied for my next conference that I'm speaking to. I'm not sure when I'm going to get this one out, but for Podcast Movement Evolutions. And they was like, yeah, you get the full package. You get like the eat and everything like that, and drink, special area just for you guys. So I was like, oh.
Yeah, get their own room.
Yeah.
Food all the time. Oh yeah, I've been in those volunteer rooms so many times. I'm like, it looks good.
It's amazing. So as we is there anything else that you want to leave the audience with before we dive into the final 4 questions?
Well, again, if you are going through a divorce or you've been recently divorced, I just want to say there is so much positivity and possibility and opportunity that lies ahead for you. I know financially it can be very overwhelming. I've been there, but there is so much support. Like Anthony does this wonderful podcast. There are wonderful podcasts that you can listen to. I've had financial experts on mine. There are so many divorce podcasts. And allow yourself also around all of this. We can take ourselves so seriously, and some things are needed, where we need to be more serious, but also some fun.
Right.
Allow yourself some levity. You only live once and you have this new chapter ahead of you. So think about the possibility that you can now create for your life with money, and what you can do differently that maybe you didn't do in your marriage that can really lead to some wonderful opportunities. So you're going to be great. You've got this. And I would love for you to listen to Sadie's Divorced and Happy podcast.
Yeah. Gotta make sure that happens. So, you ready for the final 4?
Sure. Ooh, exciting.
Number 1, what does wealth mean to you?
Wealth means that I have the ability to live my life the way that I desire, without fear that if I make a investment into something that it's going to cause a catastrophic outcome. So I think wealth is stability for me.
I like that. Number 2, what was your worst money mistake?
Sometimes I have historically jumped the gun on something without doing enough investigation, whether it be a product that I need for my business, gear. You have to buy a lot of different gear. So sometimes I have, without doing maybe as much research as I should do, purchase something that wasn't a good investment, and then I'm stuck trying to sell it. So just be mindful about, before you make a big investment, do your homework.
Yeah, I'm dealing with that right now, but That's a whole nother show.
Oh, shoot. That's hard.
Yeah.
All been there.
Number 3. What is your favorite financial or non-financial book?
Well, a book that I have not yet read, but my girlfriend, who's also an entrepreneur, has read and wants me to read is called Your Money, Your Life.
Yeah. And number 4, what is your favorite dish to make?
Tater tot hot dish, baby. I'm a Minnesota gal. You ever had it, Anthony?
No, I never heard of it. What is it?
A little ketchup on the side.
Okay.
I like making stir fries too, but tater tot hot dish at least once a year, like the dead of winter. It's good comfort food.
A tater tot.
My grandma made it for me when I was a little girl, so I make it. I think of my grandma. I make it for my kids. It's easy to do. It's not necessarily healthy, but it's comforting.
A tater tot hot dish.
Tater tot hot dish. Do not buy the generic tater tots, though. You have to buy the name brand tater tots or forget it. Don't even waste your time.
So is it like a casserole?
Sure. See, we say hot dish in the Midwest. Oh, okay. Maybe, I don't know where you live. Where do you live?
Closer. I'm closer to the in Maryland.
East Coast. You're all bougie over there. Casserole. Casserole. Yeah, casserole, Anthony.
Okay. Well, I'll look this up and find a good recipe.
Yeah, impress your wife with some hot dish. Be like, hey, baby, Friday night, I'll make you some hot dish. She'll be like, yeah.
I just whip out my apron with About That Wallet on it.
See?
Yeah.
Fighting. Keep me posted on how that night ends. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Oh, trust me, more likely I'll be asleep.
I know, it's such dense food. You'll just be like, gosh, I'm so tired. Go to bed early. Nothing wrong with that at this stage in the game. Nothing wrong with that.
At all. This is the last question of the show. I mean, I wish we could talk longer because I had so much fun doing this one. Which is, where can people find out more about you?
Sure. Well, you can find everything you need to know about Sadie's Divorced and Happy at divorcedandhappy.net. That includes all of my podcast episodes. I have over 100 episodes. It includes learning about this dating flavor profile quiz, my blog. You can subscribe to my newsletter, which I drop every month. And you can learn also about all of the wonderful events that we are having in different cities. And of course, on Instagram, TikTok, Pinterest, and Facebook at Sadie's Divorced and Happy.
All right. Well, everybody, make sure y'all go ahead on and check out Sadie and Mike on the lovely podcast, as everywhere they may be in your city. Who knows? You gotta stay tapped in because you might see her on stage.
Right.
Yeah. All right, everybody. Y'all be safe. I'm out. Peace.